What is up, guys? This is Brad, and I've got a CGC reveal video for you. Only 6 slabs today, so a little bit smaller than some of my recent ones, but always fun going over projections, going over cover details, going over pop reports, and going over sales numbers with you. So it's what we're going to do right now, and we're going to start off with this. This is a Sports Illustrated issue, and we've got Jerry Rice's first cover from 1989 Super Show. So Jerry Rice, one of my favorite players of all time. In fact, Jerry Rice and Steve Young are to thank for my lifelong fanhood of the San Francisco 49ers. I've been a San Francisco 49ers fan since I was a little kid. I'd say circa 1997 is really the first time I remember watching them. So yeah, Jerry Rice, long been my guy. So this covers from Super Bowl 23, which is when the 49ers beat the Bengals 20-16. That was Joe Montana's third Super Bowl in the decade. Of course, he would go on to win one more the following year, which would be his fourth. This game is best remembered for being it's best remembered for the 49ers fourth quarter game-winning drive. They were down 16-13 with about 3 minutes left to go, and then they got the ball on their own 8-yard line, and Montana marched them 92 yards down the field in 3 minutes. They scored the winning touchdown with 34 seconds to go. It was a Joe Montana pass to John Taylor, and Jerry Rice was named the Super Bowl MVP of that game. He had a monster game. He caught 11 passes for a Super Bowl record 215 yards plus a touchdown. So really cool cover here. I projected this one at a 6.5. So great return on the 7.5. I actually already own, let's see, I used to have it above my shoulder. I think I took it down. I recently swapped out my magazines I got for display right now. Right now I got a Kobe first slam cover. I've got Hulk Hogan's first cover. I've got Hank Aaron 715 cover. I've got Michael Jordan first cover, and then in the top corner is Joe Namath's first cover. Used to have the Jerry Rice up for display, but I do have another 7.5 of this one already. Um, but what I should actually tell you is that I sent in three Jerry Rice first covers on this batch. And look at these boys. Two 9.0s. One of them is off-white to white pages, and the other one is white pages. If you don't know what that means, not something I've talked about a lot in my videos, not something that really makes a big difference in the sports magazine world, but you can see right here 9.0, and then it says white pages, as opposed to this one where it says off-white to white pages. So they both got a 9.0. They're the same grade, but what that's saying is this one with the white pages, the pages are a little bit nicer. You know, obviously in a lot of cases over time, the pages will start to fade a little bit and lose their color. And so sometimes you'll even see it's pretty common to get the off-white to white pages. Like that's what my 7.5 says as well. Sometimes if it's real old, they'll even say like cream colored, but white pages is the most desirable. Now, once again, I haven't really seen any instances in the sports collecting world where people care, but I will say, you know, if I were to pick one of my two 9.0s to keep, I would keep the one with the white pages because that's slightly better. I think comics people pay a little bit more attention to that than we have thus far. But honestly, probably what I'm going to do at some point, because Jerry Rice is the type of guy that will, he'll do some signings. And so what I'll probably do is I'm probably going to, keep this 9.0 white pages, and the 9.0 that is off-white, I will consider cracking that at some point and seeing if I can get Jerry Rice to sign it. That'd be kind of cool. That's something I've started doing a little bit. If I have a duplicate of a really big cover, I don't really want to crack my highest graded one, just at the risk of it coming back lower. But if I have a second copy that's maybe graded a little bit lower, then I think that's a cool way to bump the value on that, is to get an autograph, get a signature. I'm a really big proponent on getting a newsstand first cover of a Hall of Famer autographed. And the sales data has really proven that that adds a ton of value. And it makes sense because the newsstands in themselves are pretty rare. And when you combine a newsstand with an autograph, that's pretty awesome. So that's probably going to be my plan with this. The 7.5 I may sell. Both of my 7.5s now, actually, I may go ahead and sell just to clear off some space. But I'm going to keep the two 9.0s. And like I said, I think one of them I will definitely consider cracking just to get autographed at some point, especially with CGC rolling out that JSA authentication service, which as of the recording of this video on May 4th, hasn't happened yet. They said it was going to happen in April, May 4th, and they're a few days behind. I kind of had a feeling that would happen. It's not uncommon at all for them to announce something and say, hey, this is the target, and then it ends up being whatever, several weeks or even maybe a couple months later. Hopefully it will be this month of May. Hopefully by the time this video is released, it will have happened, but we'll see. So anyway, one more thing on the Jerry Rice sales. So a 9.2 sold in March of this year for $539. So that would indicate there's some decent value on my 9.0s, maybe $350 range might be realistic. And 9.8 sold in 2023 in a private sale for $6,000. So that was a really nice one. Okay, moving on. So there we go. We just knocked out 3 of my 6 already. They were the same cover. So let's move on to slab number 4. And this is the first Sports Illustrated cover for Kevin Garnett. Now this one's a bit of a disappointment for me. I projected a 9, and nothing grinds my gears like a magazine that I think should be a 9 that gets an 8.5. That's a gut punch. Freaking hate that. You know, could be one that I consider resubmitting down the road, but truthfully, nah, actually I won't. And here's why. Number one, for whatever reason, this is not a very valuable or seemingly collectible issue. As suggested by this, I'll go ahead and jump to sales. A 9.4 sold this year for $70. And a 9.2 sold for $38 this year. That's kind of crazy. The Kevin Garnett first cover should be more collectible than that, in my opinion. This is a really sick cover. It screams 90s. It's got like the background, like 90s designs. He got like a starter looking jacket. I mean, he was the first player drafted in the NBA straight out of high school since 1975. Hadn't been done in 20 years whenever he did that. And then that's kind of what spurned a huge rush of it. Kobe went in the draft the next year, and there were tons of high school players coming after this. So I don't really get why and Garnett is a top 30, top 40, definitely top 50 player of all time. So I don't really get that. But anyway, and also there's only been 34 newsstand copies graded, not like there's a zillion out there. 34 newsstands graded. This is a pop 2 with 23 higher. The reason that I probably will not resubmit this one is that I own an autographed copy of this one. So once the JSA deal comes out, I'll definitely be sending that one in to get graded. And I don't remember what kind of condition it is in. I think it's in pretty good condition. But, let's say it came back an 8.5. Even if it came in 8, I'd rather have an 8, probably even a 7. I'd probably rather have a 7, a CGC 7.0 newsstand copy of Kevin Garnett's first cover that's autographed than an 8.5 newsstand that's not autographed. So there's that. All right, moving on. We got 2 left. And this one is the first Sports Illustrated cover for Nikola Jokic. Ultra modern. Postmodern is what it says. Postmodern, I think it says that because it says post play is a lost art. Could it still be part of the NBA's future? And it's got Nikola Jokic, it's got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it's got Giannis, LeBron, Hakeem Olajuwon, Joel Embiid. I got a 9.4. I projected a 9.0. Pretty happy with the 9.4, even though this is ultra modern. It's from last year. It's from 2023. probably you're looking for a 9.8 on those, maybe a 9.6. But I'm totally happy with a 9.4 because this is one that I think long term could carry a little bit of value. Here's why. So it's Jokic's first cover. As of now, it's his only cover. Jokic already has two MVPs, which is huge. Not a lot of players have two MVPs. And he's got a finals MVP. Um, he is right now the favorite to win this season's MVP as well, which would be, if that happens, his third MVP, and then he's in really rare company. Here is the list of people in NBA history who have won three MVPs. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won six. Michael Jordan and Bill Russell each won five. LeBron James and Wilt Chamberlain each won four. And then with three MVPs, you have Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Moses Malone, and then potentially Nikola Jokic. Wow. That is big time. So, Jokic is one, he doesn't feel super collectible right now, but man, I don't know. I think he could be. He could be at some point because he's still playing at an extremely high level. I mean, Nuggets, I think, have a great shot to win the finals this year too. So we'll see. I thought another thing that I thought was really cool is, I just mentioned how he's the front runner for this year's MVP. They released three finalists. There are three finalists who are, legitimately in the running to win this year's MVP. Jokic, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and Luka Doncic. And all three of those guys are actually on this cover. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, is in the background here, like guarding Jokic. So this is technically the first cover for SGA. The labeling up here says first Nikola Jokic cover. I wonder if someone were to request for it to say first Shea Gilgeous-Alexander cover, if they would put that on there too, because I mean he is turning out to be an elite player. And then yeah, Doncic is here, also kind of in the background guarding Giannis. So the three MVP finalists from this year are all on this cover, which I thought was pretty interesting, pretty cool. Here's something else I think is extremely interesting about this cover. And it's another reason why I'm fine with the 9.4, and I think this one has a little bit of long-term potential. There have only been 23 newsstand copies of this issue graded. I feel like when this cover came out in February of 2023, it wasn't one that screamed at people as being potentially really collectible. I don't think Jokic had won his second MVP yet. Maybe he had. Yeah, maybe he did already have his two MVPs. But I don't know that he had won his finals MVP yet, because it wasn't last year. Last year when the Nuggets won the finals. For whatever reason, this one just didn't really jump out at people. And here's a comparison. Okay, like I said, this came out in February of 2023, and there's only been 23 newsstand copies graded. The very next month, March of 2023, was the first cover for Victor Wembanyama. Well, guess how many copies of that have been graded? 232. 232 versus 23. And Wembanyama, yeah, I mean, he's a freak. He's got tons of potential. He's an alien. We've never seen anything like him before, but he hasn't really done anything. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, but he could have a career-ending injury tomorrow, and no one would really ever think about him again. Jokic is already established. He's already probably a lock for Hall of Fame, two MVPs and a championship and a Finals MVP. His first cover's only been graded 23 times versus 232 times for Wemby. Wembanyama's first cover has 125 9.8s out there. There's only 5 9.8s in existence of this one. So this is a pop 7 with 11 higher at the 9.4 level. I just thought all that was interesting, and that's kind of why I like this cover. And Jokic is pretty fun to watch. A 9.8 sold for $300 recently, and two 9.4s both have recently sold for $26. So there's obviously not a lot of interest right now in this cover, which is interesting to me. Jokic almost feels similar to me as like a Dirk Nowitzki. like elite, ultra high-end player, but for whatever reason, Dirk Nowitzki doesn't seem to be all that collectible. His cards and his magazines don't really sell for a lot and attract a ton of collectors, it seems like. And Jokic might be similar. I don't know. Some of those sales would indicate that's the case now, but I still think long term, especially if this dude wins 3 MVPs and another finals. I mean, Jokic could end up being like a top 10 all-time player. That's not out of the question at all. He's kind of on that trajectory. So anyway, I like that cover. I was glad to grab the 9.4 of that. I think that's a good pickup. All right, last one, folks. Last one. And this one's pretty cool. I think this is a very collectible cover, one that you don't see a ton. This is from 2004, and this is Pat Tillman, the first and only Sports Illustrated cover for Pat Tillman. So I projected a 9.0, got a 9.2. If you're not aware, if you're not familiar with Pat Tillman, he played 4 years for the Arizona Cardinals, started 3 of those seasons as a defensive back. He left the NFL willingly after the 9/11 attacks, after September 11th, and he joined the Army Rangers. And he served as an Army Ranger from 2002 to 2004. Once again, this is like in his prime when he could have been making a lot of money in the NFL, and he just willingly walked away to serve his country. And then he was tragically killed in 2004 in Afghanistan. And it actually came out later, quite a bit after his death, that he was killed by friendly fire. There was actually kind of a lot of mystery, and it was a little bit of an ordeal as far as how Pat Tillman was killed and how that information was shared with the public and with the family. A pretty sad story. But he was the recipient of a Silver Star as well as the Purple Heart. Absolute American hero. They've got the inset photo there of his military picture. So I think this is a pretty cool cover. I think it's collectible. It's been graded 16 times as a newsstand. This is a Pop 5 with 8 copies higher. There are 6 9.8s out there. A 9.2 just like this one sold in April of this year, so very recently, for $176. So that would be an approximate value for this. And a 9.6 sold last year for $275. All right, that is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe. And until the next video, I'll see you guys next time.